Hey guys, welcome to the fifth tutorial of Python for beginners. In this tutorial, we will learn about if conditional statement and while loop. What are if statements? If statements are control flow statements which helps us to run a particular code only when a condition is satisfied. So the syntax says if condition, if it is true, then it executes the block of code. Now you can use these operators to check the conditions if it is true or not. Let's go to Visual Studio Code Editor and write some code. Select the language, Python. Save the file as if and while. Now here, we are going to use if statement to find out if the condition is true, then only will execute a set of code, otherwise will not. Let's start defining some variables. A is equals to 300. B is equals to 200. Now let's check the values of B and A. If B is greater than A, then print B is greater than A. If we save this file and run it, let's see what we get. We get nothing. Why? If B is greater than A, because B is not greater than A. Now let's write the else part of the statement. Else will be executed when if is false. Else will print A is greater than B. Save, execute. Now here the result is A is greater than B because it was checking the condition B is greater than A, which is not, so if block will not be executed, but here in this case else block will be executed. Now if I don't want to give this variable indirectly the numbers, let's see what happens. B is 200, A is 300. Save the file, run it. So A is greater than B. So you can use variable also and numbers directly here also. Now, what if we have to check more conditions? Let's first revert it using a variable. And then here, write down one more statement of elif, which is else if A is equals to B, then we have to write A is equal to B. Is equal to operator will be 2 times is equal to. So that means we are comparing the value of A and B. Save the code, clear the screen, print. Here is A is greater than B because A is greater than B. Now if I give A is 200, then this section of the code should be executed. Let's clear it and run it. A is equal to B. So here what is happening? If is we are checking the conditions. If the B is greater than A, then this block will be executed. If it is same, then this block will be executed. Otherwise, at last, if nothing is true, then the last else will be executed. Now we can make use of logical operators also to combine different conditions. If we have two conditions to combine, let's use the logical operator AND here. Now let's remove this one. Now A is equals to 100. B let's define as 20. C is 300. Now if A greater than B and logical operator, C greater than A, then what we have to write, both conditions are true. Save, clear. Now A is greater than B, which is right the case, 100 is greater than 20. C is greater than A, which is also true. So it should write both conditions are true. Both conditions are true. Now if we replace this by less than, then it should not write anything. So it has not written anything because the condition is false. Now similarly, and you can use OR operator also. OR. Now here A 100, let's define B 50, C 200, and if A greater than B or A greater than C, A greater than C. Is that the case? A is greater than B? Right. A greater than C? No. So if one of the condition is satisfied, then also it will write. What it will write? At least one is true. So clear. Save the file. Run it. At least one is true because one condition is true here. Let's talk about while loop now. While loop can execute a set of statements as long as the condition is true. Let's go to Visual Studio Code, remove this section, and now write a code for while. I is 1. Use while loop to print I if it is less than 6. Print I and then increment I by 1. Now save the file. Let's run it. So it has written 1 till 5. So while, what does while do? While loop execute a set of statements as long as the condition is true. Now if we replace this less than operator by greater than operator, clear this. Now I is 1. Now it says while I is greater than 6, which means 1 is greater than 6. So if we save and execute this one, it should not print anything. Why it has not printed out anything? The reason is because this condition is not met. Now replace it back with a less than operator. Save the file. Now it has written 1 till 5. Let's study about two more important things, break and continue. Now what break does? Break statement stops the loop even if the while condition is true. Now here what is happening? We are writing the numbers from 1 to 5 because the condition is 1 should be less than 6. If we do less than is equals to 6, then it will write till 6. 1 till 6. Now if we want to break this loop, if certain condition is met, what we should do? Let's write down here, if I is equals to 4, then break. Now let's read about break again. Break statement stops the loop even if the while condition is true. Now 4 is less than 6, so the condition is true, but we're going to break it. When we're going to break it, it will not proceed after 4. Let's see what the result. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, because 4 is less than is equals to 6, it has printed 4. Now if I is equals to 4, then it will break and it will not proceed further with 5 and 6. If we write here 3, save the file, then the last value printed will be 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, break statement, if we read again what it says, break statement stops the loop even if the while condition is true. What does continue does? Continue statement stops the current iteration and continue with the next one. Let's clear this out. Now write I is equals to 0 while I less than 6. Now this time we will increment the variable first and we check if I is equals to 3, then continue. Print I. Let's see what this does. Execute. So it will check if I is equals to 3, then continue. Means don't do any printing and continue with the next number. So here if you see 1, 2, it has missed out 3 and then 4, 5 and 6. So now the basic difference between break and continue is break statement stops the loop. So nothing gets executed if the break is executed. Continue statement stops only the current iteration and continue with the next one. So if we write here 2, it will not print the 2 but 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's clear this again and run it. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in a similar scenario, we can use an else statement also, like if while is not working, if no condition is satisfied there, then we can execute else also. Let's clear this out. Define I is equals to 1 while I less than 6, print I. Let's increment I with 1. Now here we're going to write the else block. Else print I is no longer less than 6. I is no longer less than 6. Save the file, clear this. Now what it will do, it will check 1 with less than 6. If it is true, it will print 10. I, it will increment I, it will go on this loop. Moment the till 5 is printed, then it will print I is no longer less than 6. So it has printed till 5 and then printed I is no longer less than 6. So you can use the else block in while in this case. So this was this section about if and while loop. Hope you have enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.